12 Days by Russian Wolf 7, Day 8. He's not using the hair gel, Hermione said, surprised. Told you he's not yet. Harry replied quietly. You know, I see the problem with being the last to get to breakfast, Ron said. They stood just inside the Great Hall, and it was entirely unclear where to sit. The Ravenclaw couple was at the end of the table, the Slytherin girl a few seats down from the professors, and Malfoy, Pansy, and Goyle in the middle. Well, lesser of four evils, right? Harry said, putting on a brave face and leading them over to the middle of the table. Malfoy smirked as they sat down. Told you it wasn't easy to find a decent place to sit. Well, I appreciate you not using the hair gel this morning, Hermione said politely, as well as sitting on the other end of the table yesterday. Malfoy rolled his eyes. As if I don't have any other reason for wanting to avoid your company. Christmas spirit, Ron said firmly. We're all going to get along because of Christmas spirit. On Boxing Day, you can go back to hating us. What Ron means, Harry corrected quickly, is that Christmas spirit extends through the entire holiday break. Truce lasts until the new year. Malfoy raised an eyebrow. Harry was not a big fan of that expression, by which he meant it was one of his favorites, especially when it was directed at him, and even more so when Malfoy seemed genuinely curious and not malicious. I wasn't aware we had a truce. Well, I'm declaring one, Harry said, forging ahead and feeling a little lightheaded. I don't fancy spending 2 weeks fighting when I could be relaxing. Malfoy turned to Pansy and Goyle. What do you think? A truce with the Golden Trio? Doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. What do we get? Pansy asked. You know us. We're always up for a bit of a fight. Why should we lose our favorite punching bags? Christmas spirit, Ron repeated. Malfoy snorted. Is that all you can say, Weasley? He's right, Hermione replied. You were decent yesterday. What's the harm in extending it a few days? I still say we should get something in return, Pansy said, crossing her arms. Malfoy caught Harry's eye and smirked. What of it, Potter? This was your idea. What are you going to give us? Harry lost the ability to form words. Or thoughts. There was something far from innocent behind Malfoy's words. He was sure of it. A double meaning, reading between the lines, looking for something he was positive was there. It had to be. He heard it. Unless, of course, he was wrong. But he wasn't. He was sure. Nearly sure. Malfoy leaned forward, and Harry couldn't look away from his eyes, couldn't break the contact that might very well kill him. Christmas candles were everywhere, and the way the light hit those incredible gray eyes, it was like they were sparkling. Well, Malfoy asked softly, what have you got that I might want? This was all new, very new, and entirely impossible. He wanted to look at his friends for help, but couldn't break contact. He wanted to say something, anything, but his vocal cords weren't complying. He was itching to grab Malfoy and smack him senseless, and he was very concerned that his hands might be the only part of him that would move. Burst is it, Ron said loudly, and the moment was ruined. Harry jerked back. Since when had he been leaning forward anyway? And Malfoy returned to his seat, spanking and carefully smoothing his sweater. Hermione kicked Harry, and he realized he was still staring at Malfoy. He turned mechanically and watched with unseeing eyes as Hermione opened her gift. She was saying something, probably thanking Ron, but Harry's ears were turned to Malfoy. Saves me the trouble of going to Nocturne Alley, Malfoy finished, and Harry wasn't thrilled he had missed the beginning of this sentence. But it occurred to him he should be thankful he could hear Malfoy at all, and wasn't making Ron narrate his actions from half the hall away. Nocturne Alley? Harry repeated distrustfully, turning to Malfoy. Don't tell me she got you something illegal. Not even second years are that stupid, Malfoy replied. There are legal ways of getting tentacular leaves, and as far as I know, she picked them up at the apothecary. Besides, you never see this kind of freshness on, he cleared his throat, second-hand leaves. Pansy glanced down at her and smiled. Draco, I told you it's not her. She didn't look at you once through all of that. Well, she wouldn't now, would she? Malfoy replied testily, putting the leaves away. She's smarter than that. Anyway, I don't care anymore. If I keep getting gifts like these, they could be from the great Harry Potter himself, and I wouldn't care. His eyes had wandered back to Harry's, and while Harry nearly choked on his food and had a very difficult time not blushing, he thought he handled himself incredibly well. You wish, he replied. He was tapping his foot on Hermione's, needing to do something to release the tension. We knew it was someone in Gryffindor, Malfoy continued. It had to be, given the similarity of my gifts to Granger's, at least at first. And since you're the only single Gryffindor to stay behind, I told you yesterday, you're not important enough to change holiday plans for, Hermione said. There are 100 reasons not to stay at Hogwarts for the holidays. Malfoy shrugged noncommittally. No doubt. Still, though, if it were me, I wouldn't want to miss my reactions. Plus, I'd be planning something for Christmas. Some way of declaring myself. And I couldn't very well do that if I wasn't at school. Now, could I? There are these things, Harry said, called owls. They can deliver letters, you know. She's probably just going to send an extra special gift with a note saying it's her or something. Or him, Malfoy added delicately, as Pansy so graciously pointed out at such great length last night. I have no way of knowing the gender of my secret admirer. Pansy rolled her eyes, but she didn't say anything. Harry couldn't resist, especially after whatever Malfoy was putting him through. What was that? Harry asked her. Oh, nothing, she said innocently, pushing eggs around her plate. Somebody else who's been getting gifts, not Draco, mind you, of course not, has been hoping for a male admirer the whole time. Even though that someone who isn't Draco is it to his friends, he doesn't want word to get back to his father, who, of course, wouldn't be Lucius Malfoy. Malfoy immediately flushed, glaring at Pansy. Shut up! He hissed. Harry was having trouble with his words again. He knew Malfoy had slept with boys. Everyone knew that, but he didn't know he was gay. That changed everything. Maybe. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Hermione said. Do you really think we're going to owl your father to tell him about his son's sexual proclivities? It's your business who you're attracted to, not your father's, and certainly not ours. Yeah, we can't still use it against you, Ron said happily. Holiday truce, or we owl him. Malfoy's glare shifted to Ron. Define truce. Not making fun of me or my family, Ron said. No cinnamon hair gel, Hermione added. And only simple conversations. No magic, Ron continued. Well, I suppose no malicious magic, but don't push it. Potter, Malfoy asked, fiery gaze turning to Harry. Anything you'd like to add? Harry still hadn't regained the power of speech, and just shook his head. It was the blush, and the power in his eyes, and then he was gay, actually gay! Not that it meant Malfoy would be attracted to him, or even didn't entirely despise him, but at least he was the right gender. Harry knew he was grasping at straws, but straws were better than nothing. Malfoy sighed dramatically. Fine then, truce. But the second the clock strikes midnight in the new year... Yeah, we get it, Ron interrupted. Pansy huffed. I still don't get anything out of this. And really, Draco, he's going to find out sooner or later. Later being the key word, Malfoy replied, running his breakfast with his fork. Not on Christmas, and not from them! Wait, I do get something out of this, Pansy said suddenly. I get to share all of Draco's secrets with you and drive him up the wall. Goyle snorted laughter, the first time Harry had heard him make a noise all year. You see, Draco has grand dreams, sweeping into the manor with his cellmate on his arm, and the force of their true love is so strong that... Pansy! Malfoy yelled. Shut up! She smirked. That's what you get for not including me in the terms of the truce. I think it's sweet, Harry said, finding his words at the most inopportune moment he could imagine, and of course not being able to hold them back. A soulmate? One true love? Wouldn't have thought you'd believe in that, Malfoy, but it's curious. He stammered. Merlin. And he almost called Malfoy cute. That was... No, it was just no. Malfoy gave him a weird look. Right. Anyway, as part of our truce, you, all three of you, are sworn to secrecy regarding anything that comes out of that mouth, he said, jerking his head at Pansy. And Potter, don't call me sweet. Really. So, that was definite flirting, Ron said, waiting until they were inside the safety of the common room. What was? Harry asked. Wanting a truce? Nobody's buying your innocent acts, Hermione accused. Yeah, Harry, that's just pathetic, Hermione added. There was... Let me see. She ticked off the points on her fingers. Your utter inability to speak, especially when he asked you about the truce. We'll be coming back to that, by the way. The way you stared at him through the whole meal. how you pushed Pansy into saying that he's gay, and then all but collapsed when you said it out loud, even though you already knew he's interested in men. And of course, when you told him it was sweet that he believed in soulmates and true love. She laughed a little. Harry, I love you, but that was too much. Nobody believed you called it curious. Far too improbable given your lexicon. I don't know if we got that you actually said cute, but he knew something wasn't right. I didn't... Those things, Harry said indignantly. To be fair, he did start it, Ron said thoughtfully. When he went on about what you specifically could give him in exchange for Truce, leaning across the table like that, and then when he started going on about you being his admirer, that was classic. He wasn't... Harry stopped. Wait, he was? That wasn't all in my head? No, definitely not, Hermione said. His motives may be in question, but he was absolutely flirting with you. Harry gave himself a moment to be happy before returning to the real world. What do you mean motives? I guess... What motives? Well, that would be the question, Hermione replied. Harry sighed. I don't want to do this, he said without any conviction, breaking down every word and analyzing every movement. I'm not a 13-year-old girl. I'm an adult. We're not doing this. Ron shrugged. Whatever ye say. Hermione, can I see the essay you wrote last night? No, she said, though she did some of her schoolwork, as well as Harry and Ron's. Once you've written yours, I'll go over it. You're not allowed to copy mine. But I'm giving you 12 days of Christmas, Ron protested. Hermione held out one hand. My essay. She held out the other. My Christmas gifts. She looked at her hands. These don't seem to be related. They're both hands, Ron tried. She shook her head, smiling. Write your own essay. I'll check it for you. Harry took his Transfiguration book out and started reading. Then he put it down. Okay, what motives? Do you want my honest opinion, or what I think will make you feel best? Hermione asked. Honest opinion, Harry muttered, not wanting to hear at all, but having no choice. I think he was trying to get a reaction out of you, she said. He's gotten bored of insulting you and has moved on to a new game. It's possible he was genuinely trying to see if you're the one sending the gifts. He did have a point. Evidence suggests it's a Gryffindor. You two really should have planned that out better, and you are the only single one left. Do you think he actually thinks it's me? Harry asked. Or that I fancy him? Hard to say, Hermione replied. Probably not. If I were you, I'd cozy up to Pansy. It seems she doesn't mind spilling secrets to whoever's closest, and considering the truce, that would be us. Harry wrinkled his nose in disgust. I'd rather not, thank you very much. Then you'll just have to wait and see, Hermione said. It's only another 4 days until Christmas. You'll survive. Harry opened his book again and closed it again. Did I say anything stupid? No, she replied. Aside from that curious business. You'll kick me if I start blathering or something, right? Dibs on that job. I'm kidding. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually trying to study. Can we save your love life until I'm not feeling so guilty about my homework? It's not a love life. It's pathetic, Harry said. Besides, there isn't anything left to say. Homework it is.